Hello there, gamerinos and gamerinas. Welcome to UnicornStorm. This is Rady, and today I'm going to tell you whether or not Deathloop is worth your while. When the game was first announced, it looked weird and unique and interesting, with you having to play as an assassin and kill multiple targets in a clean run before you are killed yourself and have to start over. A game where you, kinda like in Groundhog Day, experience the same day over and over again and have to learn the layout of the world and all its inhabitants' daily routines to get an edge over your opponents and come out on top. Now, after I was able to play the game myself, I realized that the game isn't as crazy as I thought. It's still a fine game, but not the trip that I expected. Well, it tries to be in some aspects, for better or worse, but it stays pretty grounded most of the time, despite its main feature. But what is this game all about? So you are Colt, the head of security of a research facility turned party island, where an anomaly was detected that grants all the people residing on the island a kind of immortality in form of a time loop. If you get killed, it's not so bad because you will wake up tomorrow, which is today. Because after the time loop had been activated, everyone on the island relives the same day over and over again, without knowing that they did so for a million times already. All of them except for two people on the island. One of them is the main character Colt, who tries to destroy the time loop and free himself and I guess everyone else, at least everyone who survives this endeavor. And the other one is Juliana, who tries to stop Colt, because she's a bitch and I guess was dissatisfied with her former life and was kinda bored and now just enjoys reliving the same day over and over again and I guess play around with people's lives without consequences. This game is the second AAA roguelite game this year, after Returnal. And when I say AAA, I mean a Bethesda game, and it is very noticeable. Okay, the game works well, the vast majority of the time. There are just some minor glitches and graphical issues that just reek of Bethesda's usual polish. Even though the game wasn't even developed by Bethesda. It was developed by Arcane, who were responsible for the Prey reboot and of course the Dishonored games. And you can see it in that game. Like their earlier games, this game takes a lot of inspiration from immersive sims like Deus Ex or Thief. I wouldn't say it's on par with those, but they did once again focus on giving you multiple approaches to pretty much any challenge or objective. The main portion of the game world is divided into 4 large and open areas where you can roam around, find secrets, resources, weapons, and of course a lot of intel on your opponents, on the world itself, and a lot of the time you find hints that help you tackle a certain challenge. To achieve your goal and destroy the time loop, you have to kill 8 visionaries, the game's bosses. But they don't just wait for you at the end of a mission. Instead, they visit certain places on the island at certain times of day. And you have to kill each and every one of them before the day ends. Or the loop repeats and you have to start all over again and lose all your stuff. And this might sound pretty difficult and punishing, but it isn't so bad. At first I thought that the game would be frustrating as hell. Whenever you get in a firefight, you lose your health quite quickly and you can't hold on to too much ammunition or weapons. You can sometimes find equipable upgrades for yourself and your weapons to give you a bit of an edge in combat, but the game informs you right from the start that you can't take anything with you into another loop. Areas are full of enemies, and while you do have a double jump, and there are a lot of climbable surfaces and opportunities to avoid enemies. When they spot you, they quickly gang up on you and, well, they can punish you hard. But I managed to get through the first day without dying, and then the loop restarted and I lost all my inventory. And if the whole game was like that, then I'd guess the core gameplay would be pretty annoying really fast. And where Returnal stumbled into that trap, Deathloop took some preventive measures. So the first real day you are playing is a kinda railroaded experience. The game tells you to which part of the island you have to travel and what you have to accomplish there. For the most part, the whole first day is all about information gathering. You have to get to your apartment to find some intel on how the loop works and how it can be destroyed. You have to get to the security office to find the security protocols, and then you have to get back to your apartment to actually get the security protocols from your own safe. And when you arrive at night, everything's gone. Your apartment had been ransacked, and now there's no way for you to get the vital information you were after, unless you restart the loop and use the knowledge from the previous loop to get to your safe in time. So the second day is all about retrieving the stolen information, or better, find it before it gets stolen. And then, and this is the most important advantage this game has over something like Returnal, you have to discover a way to bring equipment into another loop. And yeah, that's what you do on your second day in the game. And after that, the game really starts. Now the game kinda opens up. Now your mission is to, well, kill all the 8 targets. To do that, you have to explore the island and find all the information you can get about your targets, about different events happening on the island, about yourself, learn about opportunities and vantage points, or where you can find better equipment. Because now you can take it with you. Well, you can't just take it with you, but you can take measures to do so. Because of the anomaly, there are glowing objects everywhere on the island, and they hold residue. And you need that residue to infuse your equipment with timelessness, I guess, to make it permanent. So if you find a powerful gun that you want to keep for good, then you might have to spend, I don't know, 10,000 points of residue. And that means you have to explore the levels again. You can't take residue with you into the next loop, so be sure to spend it all before the day ends. And to make it not too easy for you, there is a Souls-like punishment system in the game for when you die. Well, there are 2 punishment systems for when you die. First, your special ability as a visionary yourself is the ability to respawn. Every time you enter a level, you start with 2 charges of your respawn ability, and whenever you die, you get transported to a more or less safe location and can continue on from that point. All the defeated enemies stay dead, all the collected items stay collected, and all the wasted ammunition is still gone. But it's better than to restart the whole loop. That happens after you died for a 3rd time within a level. But let's say you were stupid or not careful enough and you stumbled into a whole horde of enemies and were shot to pieces. And now you were brought back to a safe location and can just finish your current goal and get to the exit. Well, it's a possibility, but all your collected residue is left with your quantum corpse. That's what I mean by Souls-like punishment system. You have to travel back to the point where you were killed to collect all your residue. And you can't just walk over your corpse and press a button and move on. You have to stay there for a pretty long time, so it's not really possible to collect your residue while enemies are still around. So now, in theory, you'd be able to finish the game on the 3rd real in-game day. And I guess there are some madmen out there who are able to do that. Or well, I guess it would be a fun challenge to try this after you got a bit of experience and practice with the game. Kinda like a speedrun of Deathloop. But yeah, the more sensible approach would be to take your time, really explore the island, find all kinds of weapons and of course upgrades, and enough residue to make them permanent, so that you can build your character. You can even upgrade your special abilities and collect your enemy's special abilities. And to do that, you have to defeat an enemy and take their ability slab, and to upgrade it, you have to have it permanent in the first place, and then kill the same enemy again and collect their slab again. Which could get a bit tedious, I guess. On the other hand, it gets easier and easier the more times you do it. I haven't done so myself, I only collected one enemy ability, and that was during the more railroaded part of the game. But since every boss has a different special ability for you to collect, and you can upgrade as much as you want before you tackle the true 8 boss run, you get a lot of opportunities to customize your character build. And maybe even come up with a perfect plan to kill all the 8 bosses in a row. The game also has an invasion system. So if you don't want to follow the story, you can just switch to Juliana and then hop into random players' games to hunt them down. As soon as you enter another player's game, the level exit will be locked, and so they can't complete the current mission. Your only goal is to find them and kill them. I mean, really kill them, and have them restart the loop. Your target has 2 ways to get out of this. They can find a special antenna to hack and unlock the exit again, and then just escape. Or they can try to kill you instead, which has its own benefits, because they can replenish their respawn charges by killing Juliana. It's a neat little cat and mouse game, and there are a lot of different ways to have this play out. Both players can just go in guns blazing, or they can be creative, place traps, sneak around. Juliana even can disguise herself as one of the random enemies. Though I already had one online match where my opponent didn't even seem to be there. I searched through the whole level for him and didn't even find a sign of his existence. All the guards were still there, nothing was missing. Well, after about 15 or so minutes, I found a glitchy weapon floating in the air, so I guess he changed his equipment at one point. And then I saw a camera with green lights, a sign that it had been hacked. And yeah, this really got me fired up. That's what I wanted from this invasion mode. I had booby-trapped the antenna he had to hack, and now I was hunting him, trying to find out where he was hiding, trying to intercept him, while he was avoiding my guards, and maybe even lay an ambush for me. And then the connection was lost and the game ended. Yeah, I just hope this doesn't happen too often. But when it works, and when both players give it their all, this might be a pretty fun mode. To be honest, I didn't really know if I would like this game after about an hour or so. I was afraid that this whole experience would be more annoying than anything else. As I have already said, I didn't find the craziness here I had hoped for. Instead, I got some obnoxious characters and pretty pretentious writing. I believe the developers imagined the characters to be like the big Far Cry baddies, what with all their quirky personalities and how they always broadcast their musings all over a level. But the result were some pretty artificial and honestly really annoying characters. And the protagonist Colt is no exception to this, though I do think listening to him is more enjoyable than listening to the bad guys. The art design and the design of the island fares way better. This game has this kinda neo 60s or 70s aesthetic, but not too obnoxious. Just little hints of it here and there, and it works really well. The environments not only look stunning, they're also fun playgrounds to traverse and to explore, to tackle combat encounters in many different ways. This isn't the fast-paced, wacky, high-octane shooter with a time travel twist that I imagined it to be. But it's still a game where I can lose myself. I want to discover everything a level has to offer. I want to listen to every enemy conversation. I want to find all the hidden goodies. And I just want to enjoy my time in these beautiful locations. And even though the game isn't what I expected it to be, it grew on me fast. And I think the whole rogue-ish time loop concept is pretty well designed. You have 4 parts of the island and you have 4 times of day. And every time you return from a part of the island, time moves on to the next section. And every part of the island has different events and different enemy constellations at each time segment. Some opportunities are only available in the morning, some only at night. Some places are crowding with enemies during the day, but mostly empty in the evening hours. So even though there aren't a lot of different locations in the game, you can still spend a lot of time with these locations. And it's not a waste of time, because there's every time something new to do and new to find. And couple that with you trying to find the best way to approach all your targets and to have to deal with invasions, though you can turn it off, and you get a really fun and exhilarating experience. Yeah, of course I can recommend this game. It offers the gameplay style of the Dishonored games and couples it with the advantages of rogue games without most of the drawbacks. But don't expect that the game goes too deep into these mechanics or systems. It stays pretty casual, like Tomb Raider or Far Cry. You won't find a morality system. There's not too much decision making aside from which weapon you want to use. And of course, which weapon from the current loop you want to keep permanently. But I think its light-hearted nature as both an immersive sim and a roguelike gives it even more value as a AAA experience of that kind. And well, you could always try a minimalist run if you think this is too easy. And with that, I bid you adieu, have a great day, and I hope to see you again on the next game.